Assalamualaikum. Today we will present our report, which is problems faced by students in their first year in boarding school. First of all, let me introduce ourselves. My name is Annisa and my friend Afiqah. We are from class Cat 2A. I will touch with the first set of slides, which is introduction. There are three components here. The first one, background study. Second, term of reference. And the last one, procedure. I will elaborate a little bit about the background study. A boarding school provides education for pupils who live on the premises, as opposed to a day school, where pupils return to their homes at the end of the school day. One of the benefits of studying in boarding school is students feel more prepared for college and university. However, there are still disadvantages of studying in boarding school. Next, term of reference. To conduct a survey and research about the problems faced by students in their first year in a boarding school and prepare a report as requested by our lecturer, Mr. Salehan, on 9 November 2020, we have to submit this report before 25 December 2020. And the last one, procedure. 29 questions has been distributed to 140 respondents by Google Form on 13 December 2020. The respondents are from people who have experience studying in boarding school and their age range of 13 years old and above. The respondents are requested to answer the questions based on their experience and viewpoints about problems faced in their first year in boarding school. We move to findings. The first one, the frequency of the respondents feel homesick in their first year in a boarding school. It shows that 44.3% of the respondents believe that they rarely felt homesick. Besides, 41.4% of the respondents also believe that they always feeling homesick. And the last one, 14.3% of the respondents believe that they never feel homesick. Secondly, the respondent concentration in class when they feel homesick in their first year in a boarding school. It shows that 54.4% of the respondents believe that they did not lose their concentration in class. However, 45.6% of the respondents believe that they lost their concentration in class because of feeling homesick. Next, academic performance is affected because of homesickness. It shows that 72% of the respondents believe that their academic performance was not affected. However, 28% of the respondents believe that their academic performance was affected by it. Next, feel invisible in their first year in a boarding school. It shows that 51.4% of the respondents believe that they do not feel invisible. However, 48.6% of the respondents believe that they do feel invisible in their first year in a boarding school. One of our findings are most of the memories that the respondents create in their first year in boarding school. It shows that 67.9% of the respondents believe that they had the bittersweet memories. Besides, 27.9% of the respondents believe that they had sweet memories. And the last one, 6 of the respondents also believe that they had bad memories in their first year in a boarding school. Next, the respondents' experience was being bullied in their first year in boarding school. It shows that 74.3% of the respondents believe that they never been bullied in their first year in a boarding school. On the other hand, 25.7% of the respondents also believe that they were being bullied in their first year in boarding school.
Moving on to our next finding. In our survey, 55.7% of the respondents agree that the tight schedule which they have in their boarding schools have affected their grades in some ways, while 44.3% of the respondents believe that the tight schedule have no effect on their grades. Next, we found that 78 out of 115 respondents who have lost their belongings always have their belongings lost in their first year, while the other 37 respondents rarely lost their belongings in their first years. Among these respondents, 55% of them believe that the reason for it is because they have misplaced their belongings. 43% believe that their belongings have been stolen by someone, while the other 2% believe that someone had accidentally taken them by mistake thinking it was theirs. After analyzing the data, we have come up with a few conclusions and also make some recommendations in order to solve these issues. So to conclude, some of the respondents always feel homesick in their first year in boarding school. Besides, many respondents believe that feeling homesick did not affect their concentration in class. Furthermore, some of the respondents agree that their academic performances were affected by feeling homesick. Plus, more than half of the respondents believe that they do not feel invisible in their first year in boarding school. Next, majority of the respondents believe that most of their first year memories in boarding school are bittersweet memories. In addition, some of the respondents were being bullied in their first year in boarding school. Then, almost half of the respondents believe that having a tight schedule in the first year in boarding school would not affect their grades. Some of the respondents always lost their belongings in their first year in boarding school. And more than half of the students that have lost their belongings in the first year in boarding school think that the main reason for the incident is misplacement. So the solutions that we recommend are: the students should explore their surroundings and spend their time with friends because it will help them to stop feeling homesick in their first year in boarding school. Next, the students in their first year in boarding school should be more open to making a new friend because it will help them to overcome their loneliness. Besides, the students should bear in mind that bittersweet memories are hurt, but it teaches us to be a better person. Next, the school should impose stern action against bullies. Facilities to entertain and students' personal time should be provided and inserted in their tight schedules. Lastly, students should be aware and take care of their own belongings as they can use padlocks to keep their things safe and locked. That's all from us. I hope this study will open the students' eyes and make them aware of the possible problems that might occur to them when entering a boarding school and be prepared for it. Other parties are also responsible in making the boarding school a safe place to live in and a place where students can study peacefully. Thank you.